We're here today to talk about the Craigflower Bridge behind me. This bridge is an historical piece of our community. It was built in 1933 and it serves to connect our community to View Royal and the Esquimalt. We've loved this bridge for years. It's been a place to fish. It's a neat little structure. It's made out of wood. It's kind of unusual compared to bridges throughout the town. However, it's in need of replacement, and that's the issue today. The analysis has been done to suggest that refurbishment is not on. We have to do something a little grander than that because the footings are weak, they're old, they're tired, and they're not going to handle the loads that currently are on at about 18,000 cars a day. So what we want to do is we want to figure out what kind of replacement should be in place. And initially when we talked to Sanders staff last year, that they said that they would consult with us through every step of the process. The first we heard of any process going on was about a month ago when they had an open house over at View Royal, and they showed us some designs pertaining to a 3-lane bridge. And we said, well, wait a minute, we hadn't talked about 3 lanes yet. And they said, well, they had talked about 3 lanes when they went to the grant application process. They went to the federal government to access some federal gas tax money through a grant process, infrastructure development process, I guess, and they wanted to make sure that the bridge was going to be built for a 100-year future. And because it's a 100-year future, they felt the design had to be 3 lanes to accommodate what kind of car increases they thought they saw in the future. They did not talk to us about the 3 lanes. The design is yet to be approved in terms of how it's going to look. At this point, we are not having a lot of faith in them because if you go look at the bridge they did build last year, which is the Admirals Road Coqueletts Creek Bridge, you can't tell it's a bridge. It just looks like a big, huge road space that goes across a gap. It doesn't seem like a place anymore. You can't see the natural habitat that they're working on restoring all around it or anything like that. This is an historical bridge behind us. It has huge significance for our community. If you remember that the Craigflower Farm was where it started. This was the old Hudson's Bay farm property. The school up behind us, the farmhouse in behind on the other side of the bridge. It has an opportunity for future. These are TLC lands which are being managed in a way that hopefully will be able to gain some tourist aspects in the future, for example. Across the road we have a couple of old stores and an old garage building that are about to come down. So perhaps it's time maybe to think about maybe locating them over here to create a more of a place like an Upper Canada Village Historical Society type place. Which could tie in nicely with the history of the gorge as a place to go, a destination. I don't know if it can be done when you build a freeway-style bridge that they're planning to do. Nobody has come to meet with us directly other than the odd engineer. We've had 1 or 2 engineers from Saanich come and talk to us about what they hoped to do because the bridge was getting old. They did not talk to us about 3-lane configurations at all. And before the grant application process began, we were understood that we were going to be consulted with, but we were not in any way. But I do know that there's a number of neighbors in the community who heard about the bridge design going to 3 lanes and really got quite irritated and sent letters to various people. Jim Hemstock at Saanich Council, they copied the mayor, Saanich staff copied the mayor. They copied all the community association, let us know what the responses were. And they're from leaders in the community, people who trust staff and understand that staff is supposed to be dealing with respect between us. And we're quite taken aback the fact that this has moved ahead without our consultation in any way. We think that maybe that it's been put off to avoid a controversy through the election process. View Royal and Saanich are both involved in an election, and we see that both mayors are probably keen on this project getting done because of the grant money and the need for it to be done, but at the same time they don't want to make it an election issue. In particular, I want to know, are you really trying to do a subliminal effect in terms of trying to set up for the future of a 4-lane road down Admirals Road? We noticed that the CRD had a consultant report last year that said Admirals Road needs to be 4-lane between Esquimalt and the highway. Our neighborhood got a hold of that right away, and we're very upset about it. Wrote letters to the chair of the Transportation Committee for the CRD and copied to our mayor. Both responded saying, no, we're going to keep the road as a 2-lane road with bike lanes and sidewalks as planned by the community association. But then we see these bridges being built to a capacity that's easily converted to 4 lanes at any time in the future. That worries us. How do you keep a community the way it's planned to be if you're going to build infrastructure that allows it to change like that?